A delegation from the CBI will go to the USA in early April. Television just showed Alak met with a high delegation from the USA and the CBI. A lot is happening. Television special saying Iraq's $100 billion in reserves backs Iraq's stability and credibility in the world. I do not see it put in the Gazette tomorrow, but there is a good chance it will be in there on Saturday. If they're going to be paying salaries, if they're going to be allowing oil to move, change is coming. We can all feel they're going to have to adjust their exchange rate. If they were going to expose 1,310, they would have done it a long time ago. They would have never waited this long. They wouldn't have hid it and they would have made the budget tables public. Are they waiting for a special time? It sure looks like it. A digital transformation is upon them and they're going to have an interconnection with a digital platform to move their currency. I think Iraq is probably not going to be the only one that's going to be involved in this. To discuss military and strategic files. A high-ranking American official will visit Baghdad soon. After voting on amending the budget law, the House of Representatives is waiting for the government to send the 2025 budget tables for approval, but until now we do not know when those tables will arrive, but this matter must be expedited. The banks all received a memo about the rates, my banker has confirmed. Marks, you are not the first person I have heard that from. Some of my contacts said they cannot share but they are seeing the rates now. I firmly believe the rates will be acceptable and we will be tickled with them. I think we are going to see a very interesting week. This is why this program is the necessary final step in the revaluation process. This is about gaining the trust, globally, without which, Iraq will go nowhere and do nothing. Much hinges on the success and seriousness with which Iraq approaches and completes this training. Eliminating corruption is the key that will unlock the door to the RV. In order for a currency to be revalued and accepted internationally, it needs a robust financial system that can support international transactions. As the Iraq financial system becomes more appealing to foreign investors, it drives up the demand for such a stable currency. This shows something, newshound guru, Caparoni has harped on relentlessly, but now we know how that is accomplished. There are only a handful of elite countries that have such a high rating. The moment we have all been waiting for is upon us, cross-border payments. This training program illustrates Iraq's dedication to becoming a global player. Iraq has struggled with cross-border payments. The involvement of the INI, CBI, K2, and NBI, and their collaboration speaks volumes. The subjects of transparency, efficiency and security are the subject matter of this training program. Cross-border payments are essential for the success of any currency on the global stage, and is a key indicator of a country's economic health. This is how Iraq is opening themselves up to international markets and doing so with integrity and security. Banks are training on cross-border payments, Mr. Sammy wants you to know, the cross-border payments are currency exchanges with Iraq and with other international countries. It's really a little deeper training than just saying cross-border payments. Frank, Emo, the training is being done with the new lower notes. To see this kind of training at the borders is fantastic. Government advisor rules out Trump's oil cut plan, predicts appropriate price for Iraq. Quote, the financial advisor to the Prime Minister, Mazar Mohammed Saleh, ruled out the success of US President Donald Trump's plan to reduce oil prices in global markets. Saleh believed that what President Trump launched to work to make America the first producer and exporter of crude oil in the world to reduce prices will collide with the cost of producing shale oil, which exposes American oil to loss unless American oil touches $80 per barrel to exceed the actual break-even point to recover costs and achieve profits. The Iraqi parliament held a crucial vote on Sunday to approve amendment to the 3-year federal budget law. This decision carries major economic and political implications, particularly for restarting oil exports from the Kurdistan region. This vote is crucial to resolving financial and energy disputes between Baghdad and the Kurdistan region. The outcome will significantly impact Iraq's economic stability, energy production and the relationship between Baghdad and Erbil. Sudden U.S. move threatens development projects in Iraq. Billionaire Elon Musk, who is leading U.S. President Donald Trump's efforts to reduce the size of the federal government, announced the progress of these efforts, pointing to the ongoing work to close the U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID, according to Reuters. The decision to close the agency is expected to negatively impact development and stability projects in Iraq, which may lead to a reshaping of bilateral relations between the two countries, especially if this lack of international support is not compensated. A report by the American website Insight International confirmed on Tuesday that since the end of January 2024, lawyers for the Kurdistan Victims Fund have filed an extensive lawsuit against Masoud, Mesrour, Waisi Barzani and several of their key aides. The case alleges a number of crimes ranging from corruption and forgery to torture and murder, and each charge is extensively documented. The case not only alleges that Masoud and Waisi were directly responsible for the killing of a U.S. intelligence officer, but it also includes photos of his body after he was beaten to death by followers of Mesrour and Waisi. The report, translated by the Information Agency, stated that the Kurdish leadership spends millions of dollars in Washington, but because its representatives are limited to the Kurdistan Democratic Party and not to broader Kurdish interests, they have operated blindly. Even Mesrour seemed unaware that some close associates who are noticeably absent from the list of defendants appear to have spoken to investigators and negotiated immunity for themselves at his expense. There are 4 reasons why the Barzanis are foolish to believe that the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia will dismiss the case on the grounds of sovereign immunity, he added. While Mesrour may argue that he has sovereign immunity, his permanent residency in the United States undermines this, so he cannot claim to be a U.S. resident, as he has been for years, and say he is a foreign official who is immune under U.S. law. His permanent residency raises tax and transparency questions that Mesrour will no longer be able to evade. He continued, while Masoud is not a U.S. citizen, that does not give him immunity. Within the U.S. judiciary, there are 3 levels of federal courts: the U.S. District Court where the Barzani lawsuit is now, the U.S. Court of Appeals, and the U.S. Supreme Court. He explained, a large part of the Kurdistan Victims Fund lawsuit also involves financial crimes, corruption, and fraud by foreign businessmen. Unfortunately for the Barzani family, the Foreign Sovereign Immunities Act does not protect them from liability under U.S.